And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod, sort of in the locker room, bringing you the COVID edition of Locker Room Talk Uncut. Chad's got the Rona, guys, so we are being safe. Taking a look at everything that happened this weekend. His Cleveland Browns with a smacking of Pittsburgh, Alabama doing same. Alabama doing the same to Ohio State last night. We've got lots of head coaching jobs available in the NFL. Who's the best fit for where? Who are the best coaches available? And we're going to talk a little bit about what the hell is going on with Kyrie Irving. So we've got a lot going on for you today. But let's start it off, man. Let's start off with the national championship game last night. It was not pretty for the Buckeye fans.
Not at all. Not at all. I have seen some tweets like, okay, maybe Ohio State didn't deserve to be there, but let's be honest, that's not true. I mean, they took out Clemson, who was, those teams were 2 and 3. It's like I tweeted out, man, you have Alabama and then you have everyone else. Unfortunately,
there's a gap, dude. There really is. They're that good.
It's a huge gap. I mean, they were loaded, and I didn't realize how loaded they were.
Yeah, I mean, Devontae Smith set records in a half, and he got hurt. It's like you had said before. Clemson's defense is better than Alabama's, but Alabama's offense is just a different animal. I expected it, man. Like I expected a shootout more. Yeah. I think I expected Ohio State to hang with them offensively a little bit more than they did. But it's unfortunately for the Buckeye fans, it's the result I expected.
It's Najee Harris and Devontae Smith, the main guy, who just opened it up. I will say this isn't an excuse, but we did see Ohio State's defensive line dominate Clemson, and 2 of those starters were out because of COVID. And then
other guys
we did
too, right?
see right, and we did see Trey Sermon get injured on the the first play of the game. And in my opinion, that's what ruined everything. I think the game plan was to go in there and not really get into a shootout with Alabama, even though that was probably what it was going to be because you knew how good their offense was. But I would put money that Ryan Day wanted to run that ball more with Sermon and kind of pick his spots. And when you have a game plan centered around that, after a person goes out, it's now what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, he had really started to come along since that Northwestern game, and obviously, the game before that too. So he was definitely a focal point. Master T he did all right, but he's not the guy. I think everybody knew as the season went down, he was not your guy. But a lot of people, including Austin, said that he thinks that was maybe Ryan Day's worst coaching job. I thought that was kind of a hot take. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been huge on Ryan Day, but he definitely got outcoached by Saban. He didn't have any answers for Devontae Smith. I think he was targeted like 15 times in the first half. He had like 215 yards. Like, I'm just sitting there like, I don't care where he's at. If he lines up in slot, if he lines up outside, if he lines up as a running back, you got to guard the best player on the field. And that, to me, that's not very hard with either safety coverage or you put a spy on him, whatever you got to do at that point to where you don't line him up in the slot and a fucking linebacker's guarding him. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can't put a linebacker on Devontae Smith ever. I don't care how fast the linebacker is. You got to keep somebody over the top. It was weird, man, because Kerry Coombs is a pretty good defensive coordinator. Everybody was really excited that he came back to Ohio State, but that was not his best performance last night, unfortunately.
I've never seen a receiver dictate and dominate a game the way a big game the way that I seen Devontae Smith do it last night. That dude's for real.
Neither have I.
Yeah, that was special for sure.
And then he, I don't know what he did to his hand. He was casted up at the end, but I mean, God knows what he would have gone on to do in the second half. So he's flying up draft boards. For me, it was Ohio State or Alabama. So I had to decide if I wanted to like have diarrhea for 4 hours or vomit for 4 hours. There was like no good. There was no good outcome for me. So I think that I hate Alabama just a little bit less than I hate Ohio State. So I had to pull for the Tide. My dad didn't like that very much, but it was it's like you said, though, man, it's Alabama, and then there's a big gap, and then there's everybody else. But you got
Well,
to give
it's
all.
clearly Ohio State behind Alabama. Like I said, Ohio State proved that when they put it on Clemson. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
there ain't nobody else, but you know what I mean. There ain't nobody else that's beating Clemson outside of Ohio State and Alabama. But there's absolutely nobody that's going to beat Alabama.
except maybe UC if they would have got a fucking chance. No,
Yeah,
but
well, they lost to Georgia, so
so,
there's that.
so I don't know, man. I didn't know. I didn't really know how to feel after it, but I do know that for a brief moment, I was glad Ohio State lost. But then I started seeing the Bama love fest all over Twitter and ESPN. I was like, oh shit, I'm done with this
Yeah,
too. So
they're going to lose a lot of guys in this upcoming draft, but it's Bama. You know, they're just going to, you know, that's just how it is. They're going to load back up.
is Saban going to retire? There's been all kinds of rumors. Is Saban retiring after this year?
I mean, he's got the record now, right?
He's got the most national championships of any coach ever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, why not?
It's
I think he needs to try the big leagues again. You know, go to the NFL. Try it one more time.
Yeah. I mean, he was pretty bad there, though. I don't know. I feel like,
but you've done everything at the college rank now.
yeah, but he's kind of, I don't know how old he is, but man, there's a part of me that I feel like if I was about his age, I would just like enjoy my millions of dollars and play golf and shit. Like I've proven everything I need to prove. Why hurt my legacy in the NFL if it doesn't work out? I can just retire as Nick Saban, the baddest college coach ever, and just play golf and, talk on TV if I get bored.
That's true too. You know, Fields didn't play his best. You could tell he was hurting. You know, Ohio State still has a bright future.
Oh,
I think
sure.
they had the second ranked recruiting class for next year. So
I think it's
you're gonna.
I think it's the highest rated Ohio State class ever. Is that correct?
I believe so. I believe it is. You know, it's going to be interesting to see is if Trey Sermon comes back, because you can't imagine that his draft stock got any better after last night, you know, because with him going down, it's going to be interesting to see if he comes back, because I'm not sure right now, he's a top, 2-3 round running back. He might go in the 4th or 5th, and maybe if he comes back, he can be that top running back to come out next year.
Well, we talked about that last week, and we were debating it. If he had a big game, how that would affect it. But with the injury, I think that he should come back personally, just for his own reasons. But I mean, some guys may say, "Hey, I'll take 4th, 5th round money just to start earning money for my play and see what happens." So there will be a lot to follow there. Fields, he's definitely going, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's got to.
He's got a year left, right? If he wanted to.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he redshirt, or he was a true. I think he has another year, but either way, I think he
needs to go.
It'll be interesting. He needs
to go while he's hot. I mean, he's still going to be the probably the second, slight, maybe third, but I would, if I had to bet, I would say the second quarterback taken after Trevor. So I think at this point you got to go.
Unfortunately, I don't think he's done enough to sell the Jets. I was really hoping he'd go to the Jets so we could try to help Penny Sewell slide down to the Bengals, but I'm not sure if he did enough to convince the Jets just yet.
There's a lot of people that still think that that's where he's going.
I would like it, just help us out, get Sewell down there. We'll protect Burrow. So, college football's wrapped up, but honestly, man, as a Michigan fan, I hate to say it, but props to Ohio State for pushing the college football season forward. They were a huge part of the fact that we got to watch that game last night. So props to them.
Right.
Glad they lost. I don't want to hear about another national title for a year or anything like that. But they did have a huge hand in pushing college football forward. So I'm just glad we got through a college football season. We got to crown a champion.
Hopefully it's a better season next year. That's all I hope for, man. It's sad seeing these stadiums not full of people for big games. It sucks.
Yeah, it really does. And they're moving games to other places to have some fans in and stuff. It's just hopefully next year we can get back to a normal college football season.
Right.
And normal for me is Jim Harbaugh fucking shit up. 5-year contract extension. I called this weeks ago. I said 3. Yeah. 5 years, dude. So as an Ohio State fan, you're happy, right?
Well, it's just not really. I'm not, because it just does nothing for the rivalry that is left. It does nothing for Ohio State when Michigan is bad. It's nice to have when the committee looks at the strength of schedule, and if Michigan's on there and they're 2-4 or fucking 2-6, that does nothing for Ohio State. Like, oh, whoop-de-doo, you beat Michigan again. Now if they could get back to what they once was, and that being a powerhouse, then that helps Ohio State. So them signing a head coach that can't beat Ohio State does nothing for me. It's like I said, I'm losing interest in the rivalry. I know that's always there for you, but I don't have the same connections that you have. But for me, it's just like they don't even entertain me. I don't care, but at the same time, it's like, well, that sucks because it's like they're throwing in the towel to say, okay, we're okay with being average. We don't want to be nothing more. We don't want to be nothing better. We're just going to be average for the next 5 years.
That's kind of what it tells me too. But I mean, obviously I have the connection, but it's always going to be a big game for me. Cause like I'm trying to beat them, like it's exciting for me. If we get one, you guys are like, okay, so we got another one. It's cool. So who are we playing in the Big Ten championship?
Right.
But so the only bright spot that I can find in this is the fact that his salary goes down in half and the buyout is much lower. The report is they didn't have anybody that they were in love with to go get this year. I don't know why they didn't try for Luke Fickell or try for Matt Campbell, try for a Brett Venables, somebody, but they didn't. So they said, we don't want to go into recruiting with a coach with an expiring deal. So we give him an extension. Hopefully they can get the hell out of it after next year. If it's terrible, I don't know, but I did just want to point out that I told you guys this weeks ago and I didn't like it, but here it is. So we've got that to look forward to, but let's move on, man. Sunday, playoff football. So let's start with the first game. I'm gonna hold your excitement down just a little bit longer. Let's start with Baltimore. Well, the first game on Saturday, I guess, was Baltimore and Tennessee.
Yeah,
I might have my days mixed up. We're just gonna talk about
no. That was the first day on Sunday. Yeah, Baltimore, Tennessee. Lamar did his thing. He got that monkey off his back. And Lamar is the reason why they won the game. I mean, I know there's a lot of shade thrown at Lamar, but the Titans defense is bad. It is a bad defense. But so they played up. They do play Lamar well. Lamar just was able to make more plays than what shocks me more is the fact that the big explosive offense of the Tennessee Titans couldn't make any plays. To be held to 13 points. When you come in there, your defense is bad. You've had this high power offense the entire year. That's the most disappointing part to me when it comes to Tennessee. When it comes to the Ravens, it's like, hey, you did what you had to do. You went to Tennessee and you won. Lamar got that monkey off his back. He's now won a playoff game. The defense is legit. Can Lamar still throw? Do I trust Lamar to throw the ball? No. But do I trust Lamar to run with the ball and J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and Mark Ingram? That's the power. And Tennessee does make him throw the ball more to where he did have to make some throws. But let's face it, the Ravens are where they're at because Lamar made plays with his feet and was able to make more plays than the big powered Tennessee Titans offense.
Dude, Derrick Henry had like 40 yards rushing.
40 yards. Yeah. I mean, that's kudos to the Ravens defense. I mean,
damn.
That like I said, that's the most disappointing part. I thought every weekend I make FanDuel accounts, right? So, I set lineups.
You might have an addiction.
Yeah. So I had you do 9 players, dude. Like 8 of my 9 players were for Baltimore and for Tennessee because I'm expecting this to be a Ravens Browns type Monday night fucking shootout, and that just wasn't what it was. There was actually some defense in it, and Lamar comes out on top.
It was dude. It's a damn Pee-wee offense. That is Pee-wee football shit. You coach Pee-wee for years. I still coach Pee-wee. We see this shit all the time. They're doing what Springboro does. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand. How do you not have a spy on Lamar on third down?
And let him break off a 50-yard run? The one thing you can't do, they let him do.
How do you not spy that guy?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't. It's bad. The defense in Tennessee is just bad. They've got a good offense, although now you got to. There's people I'm going to question. I'm never going to question Henry, even though the 40 yards. I think that was when you get to the playoffs and you're versing these good teams and you're versing good defenses. They know they're going to eye on that, so they're going to say, okay, beat us through the air. So I'm looking at guys like Ryan Tannehill, who they just gave the extension to. Like, dude, where were you? You didn't play that great. I'm looking at a guy like Corey Davis who, come on, dude. Like,
He's gone.
AJ Brown's doing everything he needs to do. You got to step it up a little bit. I'm looking at somebody like Jonnu Smith, the tight end, like, where you at? So when in the playoffs, you got to make big plays, and Tennessee didn't have enough of it.
It just
Kudos
changes.
to Baltimore, though. Kudos to Baltimore, though. You can't take nothing away from that, man. This is the playoffs. This is win or go home. Now you're one of 8 teams left. So, they did their thing.
They're frustrating to watch as a guy that doesn't like Baltimore, right? And I don't trust Lamar to throw the football when they have to win. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's a bullshit Pee Wee offense, but nobody can stop it. They ran for like almost 500 yards against the Bengals. Like, I gotta give them props. It works. It may be frustrating to watch as somebody that's not a fan of that team, but it works. And Lamar gets his playoff win, and that
it's annoying. It's annoying. You do everything you can. You make him throw, and then you get him into a 3rd and 15, and there goes Lamar with his legs picking up a first down. It's super annoying, and the reason that it's annoying is you don't see it. You didn't see things like this because I hate I get why the comparison there's to Michael Vick, but Michael Vick could throw the football, and
he could throw the hell out of the football.
And he could launch it. It's just so from a throwing standpoint, they're 2 different people. But that's where the frustrating part is Lamar bails himself out with his legs, but that's who he is.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's winning NFL playoff games, it's winning NFL playoff games. So you gotta tip your hat to it a little bit. But we'll get into our predictions for this week coming up after this. But the game after that, dude, the Rams and John Wolford got the start against Seattle.
He got knocked around, man.
That still doesn't make any sense to me. If Jared Goff was healthy enough to be the backup, why didn't he start? I think Goff got benched? Well, they just didn't say it.
I don't know. See, I didn't see that because after one of the touchdowns, I went to I was watching after the play, and when they were celebrating, he was only smacking hands with his left hand. He was keeping his right hand covered up. So I think I think he does definitely have an injury. I know one thing: that injury better be healed up come Saturday because you're playing Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and you're gonna have to score.
You're gonna have to deal with them. And dude, the Seahawks, like I think I saw a stat. I think they only have 1 playoff win since 2000.
Are we about to say maybe Russell Wilson's a little overrated?
Is it Russell Wilson or is it Pete Carroll? I mean, it's hard to go against Russ.
The biggest thing that I noticed, and I said that first of all, let me say this: who did I say was the biggest fraud team?
You did.
Seahawks
you did say
frauds. That. I said they're frauds, and then there's another team we'll get to in a minute that we all agreed was frauds. But I found it weird when you want to show blitz. So the newest thing in the NFL, everybody's lining up on the defensive line. I mean, you got corners and you got safeties and you got linebackers getting in a straight line, lining up, and the quarterback has to guess, okay, who's coming, who's not. And ever since this happened on a Monday Night Football, I think it was against Arizona. Yeah, it was against Arizona. People have been using it against Russell Wilson, and it's confused the shit out of him to where he don't know who's coming, who's going, and he's just throwing the ball because he's getting pressured. He's calling out the wrong pressure, and they're getting to him, and he's just throwing the ball up, and he's getting – because now he's just throwing a lot of interceptions because they figured something out on him. Now, do I think that Russell Wilson can get better when it comes to that? Of course. I think he's a great quarterback. But the team was fraud. They didn't have defense. Don't get me wrong. Carlos Dunlap made it better. Jamal Adams made it better. They have great receivers, but they were frauds. They were frauds all year, and I just had a feeling the Rams were going to win that game.
Jesse Bates is better than Jamal Adams. I tweeted that. I just want to put that on 100%. The record.
100%.
But yeah, man, I don't know. It's wild, man. Because it started out defensive. It was just a defensive game, and it was like, okay, like Aaron Donald was being Aaron Donald. He was dominating, and then all of a sudden, man, it's just like, okay, now the Rams are almost like scoring at will on them. It was just very, very weird. And yeah, you did call it. You called Seattle your fraud team, so I got to give you your due on that. And then what was the next game Saturday night? I'm trying to remember them all.
Well, let's see. You had a Sunday morning. That was a that was a Saturday. mid game. So we're jumping back and forth here. But the Bills and the Colts was
that's it. That was the early one on Saturday.
Yeah, Bills and the Colts on Saturday.
It all ran together.
I'll tell you what, it must have been nice to have Josh Allen that day and have the best player on the field, because without Josh Allen, the Bills lose that game. Because in my opinion, the Colts outplayed them for 4 quarters. And then the biggest difference was Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is a monster, dude. He's so damn good. Yeah. He's grown so damn much, and that was fun to watch. Yeah. But I do agree with you. The Colts outplayed him. It's just
absolutely. It's just not enough offense there. Rivers is old. You got to wonder if this is it for Rivers. He choked up a little bit in his post conference. They're talking to the media, so you got to wonder if this is enough. But I do think that the Colts are a quarterback away, so it makes you think, with these Darnolds and these Wentzes and these quarterbacks coming out, what might be next for the Colts? Because I do think with a quarterback and maybe a receiver or two, that this team will be for real next year.
I think they definitely have a chance to be. I don't understand really the thought process behind Josh Allen not being good, because I'm still seeing it. People are saying like Josh Allen's overrated, or Josh Allen's not Pat Mahomes. Well, nobody's Pat Mahomes. I think it's time
He's
to
the closest thing to Pat Mahomes, in my opinion.
I think it's time to give Josh Allen his credit. I think it's time to really. I think, dude, he's like a fuse of 10 years ago Roethlisberger and like peak Cam Newton. He's like Ben, but much more athletic. Like, I'm not like, it's just weird, man. He's big. He can evade pressure. He can take hits. He fucking trucked a guy. I don't remember who.
Yeah. Well, he led that team in rushing yards. I mean, the running backs there aren't good. Zach Moss is out for the season now. Devin Singletary isn't all that. Yeah. That offense to me is Josh Allen. You have Josh Allen, and you have fucking Stephon Diggs, and you do have some more Glenn Davis and McKenzie there, and you got Cole Beasley. The receivers are nice, but he is the offense. That team will only go as far as Josh Allen will take them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And then what games am I missing here? We had
you had the Saints and the Bears.
Dude, I watched that on Nickelodeon. Did you watch that broadcast?
I did. I couldn't. I was following, because that was the game before the big game, but I'm sitting there and I'm following along on the on the tweets and shit, and everybody's showing the pictures of Mike Thomas scores, and now he's getting slimed and all that. I just couldn't take it serious. Plus, that was the same day that I'm kind of
nervous.
I'm amped up. You know what I'm saying? Nervous. I'm not about to turn on fucking Nickelodeon and watch a football game. So I did not watch it like that.
I watched the whole game.
The outcome was exactly like I thought it was going to be, though. Saints win.
Yeah, I think we all knew that. My favorite part of watching the Nickelodeon broadcast was the hot mic catching Cordell Patterson yelling "what the fuck" at the ref. It's like, well, kids, sometimes you get a little. They were like explaining football to kids. It was kind of cool. It was. I didn't give a shit about the game, so I was just watching it for the fun of it. But yeah, that was the outcome we all expected. I don't think anybody thought Mitch Trubisky was going to hang with Drew Brees and the Saints. Now, I will say Mitch Trubisky didn't look terrible. I don't know when he decided to not be terrible anymore.
Well, he just was better than what they had. He would end up being better than Nick Foles, and I forget who was behind him, but
yeah,
he'll make a good backup. He'll be nice when if you have a quarterback go down and you have a game plan for Mitch Trubisky, and he gives you something different because he can run with the ball, and he's decent at throwing the ball. He came out. I want to say he only played one good year at North Carolina before he came out. So this guy's still developing a little bit, so the Bears have said they're not bringing him back unless they made a deep run. So he's going to be somewhere else. He's going to be somewhere else as a backup, maybe like a Jameis. And maybe if he gets his opportunity and he has a big game, then you might see him start in the league again. But the biggest loss for them, in my opinion, is going to be Allen Robinson. That guy has yet to play with a quarterback. So he's one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion. So we're going to see where he ends up as well.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. He was in Jacksonville, never had a quarterback. Went there, never had a quarterback. And I do think he's damn good. I think
Yeah.
that he could do very well somewhere. So we got the outcome we expected them. But let's get to the big one.
Oh, you don't pass up on the Bucks game, man. Bucks and Washington went at it
Oh,
on
whatever.
Saturday night.
They
Tom
didn't even
Brady. Hey,
belong.
we have to talk about this, man. Tom Brady, playoff Tom.
Still lives.
He still lives, dude. What is he? 42, 43 years old?
Older than shit. That's all I know.
He's fucking still got it, man.
Dude,
he still got it.
Taylor Heineke might have it. That dude was all right.
He looked good, didn't
he looked like Johnny Manziel without the cocaine.
Let's not forget the last two games with the Saints and the Bucks, how it ended. The Saints smashed them twice,
Yeah.
But you got playoff Tom coming in, to New Orleans, and that's gonna be an interesting game. But sticking with the Washington game there, like you said, man, that game was closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think Washington's defensive line's really good. I gotta admit that Chase Young is damn good. He was never take him over Joe Burrow good like we talked about all last season, but he's coming as advertised. He's a damn good pass rusher. But don't say you want playoff Tom right after you beat Philly when they tanked for you, because you're gonna get playoff Tom if you do.
Yeah, and then like you said, you can't really blame the loss on Alex Smith not playing, because what's his name, Heineke, he looked good.
Yeah, he didn't look bad at all.
No, I didn't think so either. I thought he played well. Not enough to beat Tom Brady though,
Well,
so
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so that was an interesting game, a lot closer than I thought.
Brady and Breeze, they're like a combined age of like 90 something, and they're gonna start a playoff game. And that's weird because the oldest quarterback still in the AFC playoff race is one. Who's that jersey you got hanging up behind you back there? That's Baker Mayfield.
Number 6.
And
Baker
and the Browns. When they were
calling him Baker the playmaker?
Baker and the Browns went to Pittsburgh Sunday night.
Whoop that ass too, didn't they?
I mean, punched them in the fucking face, dude. Like literally from the first play. Literally from the first play. Oh, I loved it.
What a first quarter, man. 28-0.
That's a damn good start.
And then before I get into it real quick here, let me just shout out Michael Dunn and Kendall Lamb. Michael Dunn stepped in for Joe Petonio. Kendall Lamb stepped in after Conklin got hurt. And dude, Michael Dunn got hurt, and I forget the fucking lineman's name that came in. Baker Mayfield said he just met him before the game and shook his hand. Nobody remembered his name. I have to look it up, but he stepped in and was fucking great. Dude, the Steelers have the best defense in the NFL, and they didn't touch Baker Mayfield.
Not once, did they? Not one sack, right?
Not one sack. That is the difference in this game, dude. Cleveland's offensive line is legit.
It's apparently deep too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's that's Bill Callahan, and me and you talked about this before we jump into that game. The Bengals need to be trying to make Bill Callahan an assistant head coach to Zach Taylor just to get him away from Cleveland and come teach offensive line. Now, I don't think he wants to go anywhere, and I don't think the Browns would let that happen. But holy shit, it doesn't matter. Plug and play them, and they're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly looked to work. But, I mean, literally, man, like we said, from the first play of the game, just the snap over Ben's head from Pouncey, the Browns fall on it. You had no fucking idea what to do with yourself.
Dude,
But I also know that. Go ahead.
It's been a while since we've been in the playoffs, and then your fucking head coach can't be there because he has COVID. Your all-pro left guard can't be there. Your fucking all-pro cornerback, like you're missing some key pieces, and you go into Pittsburgh and you do that, dude. This team is different. They're special. This is a special group led by Baker Mayfield, who had 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 270 yards, and balled out. I mean, he picked the fucking Steelers defense apart. They ran all over them. I mean, Kareem Hunt ran pissed off. Nick Chubb just ran like a fucking madman. The defense played great. I mean, 5 turnovers. I mean, what do you say, dude? At the end of the game, I didn't know what to do. Like my wife and I were sitting here watching it, and she's just like, you're not crying. At this point, I'm not yelling and screaming. I'm just sitting there. She's like, what's going on? She's like, I think you're in shock. And I think I was shocked that the way that this, like, if you would have told me we were going to go hang up 49 points on the Steelers, I'd have told you you're crazy. I would have said no way. But dude, the Browns are legit. I think they proved that this week. I think they proved that. Come on, Coach of the Year's wrapped up, right?
Yeah, Mike Prefer. Right.
So, I mean, Stefanski had them ready. Even not being there, he had them ready.
He outcoached Tomlin from his basement.
Yeah, fucking Baker. We got to stop with the Baker talk. And I was on that. I'll be the first one to admit I jumped off of that train earlier in the season. But then Odell Beckham Jr. went down, and this dude has just been completely different. He's just a different quarterback. I don't know what it is, but he is fucking. He's great. He's playing great right now, dude. And
he loves Cleveland.
Exciting.
Too.
Oh
he
yeah.
He loves the shit out of that city.
Yeah, I mean, they got off the plane at like 3:00 in the morning, and there was Browns fans there at the airport, waiting on them. So
yeah, I saw that.
They love that shit. But the Baker talk has to stop. That's the Browns quarterback for the next 10 years. That's the Browns coach for however long he wants to coach.
Come on, man. You're being calm. You're being humble. Fuck that. Let it out. Let it out. I saw your Facebook post. Well, you said, "Hey, like the B team, right?"
Yeah, but I want to be humble through this whole thing.
Now, fuck that.
I know we've never been here. But I will say this though. It was week 17 that the Steelers fans came out and said, "Okay, we'll wait till next week. Okay, you just beat our JV team. We didn't have Ben. We didn't have Cam Hayward. We didn't have TJ Watt. Hey, let me tell you something right now, motherfuckers. How many times did you hear TJ Watt's name that game? How many times did you hear Cam Hayward's name that game? How many times did you hear Minka Fitzpatrick's name that game? How many times did you hear anybody on defense outside of getting 49 hung on their asses? And then you want to talk about, oh, we're going to be better. You beat Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph might have been better than Ben Roethlisberger, because let me tell you something, Pittsburgh fans. Ben Roethlisberger is done. He's done.
Put it on him.
He's done. Pittsburgh fans, go look at who is all hitting free agency for you guys, and tell me how you get back to where you was next year.
With their cap.
You guys have a list. You guys have a list this fucking long, and the names are about this small. Okay. So, and like I said, Mike Pouncey done said he's retired. So Mike Pouncey got retired by the Cleveland fucking Browns. How about that? When he wanted to sack on Myles Garrett. Ben Roethlisberger might be done. That's going to be some shit, ain't it? You go on and you dominate Cleveland for so many years. They want to name the fucking stadium after you, and then Cleveland retires your ass. You better not go out like that, Ben.
Keep it going.
You better not go out like that. I want him to stay. I want him to stay, because let's say it's the Pittsburgh fans that came up with the Baker, the turnover maker. Oh, how many fucking turnovers did Baker have? How many did Ben have? Who played better? Oh, we want to talk about how Roethlisberger threw for 500 yards? That's because we were in a prevent after the first quarter, you some bitches.
Yes.
That's how bad we were whooping your guys' ass.
Put that shit
on you. We were putting it on you so bad that in the second quarter, we were in a prevent defense.
Which I didn't like.
15 minutes on the yeah, we got soft. We let Ben start finding his rhythm. But what happened at the end of the game? Ben Roethlisberger found the Browns' defense to end it.
That's all
I got on that.
I love it. Fuck being humble. I would not be this humble if the Bengals just beat the shit out of Pittsburgh in the playoffs. I wasn't that humble on Monday night a few weeks ago.
I want to be humble because I know what's ahead of us Sunday, and that's kind of scary.
Well, before we get into that, I'm trying to give you as much time as you can to enjoy this before you think about the fact that you have to play Pat Mahomes Sunday.
I enjoyed Monday. I obviously enjoyed Sunday night. I enjoyed Monday. It's time to either today or tomorrow, it's time to look forward at what's next.
But on the Pouncey point, I don't know if you saw this or not, but I saw it. Ben was on the bench, like legitimately crying
yeah,
tears.
I've never seen him cry like that after a loss.
It made me feel great, like right here in my heart. But
I can't lie. I felt a little bad for him. Even though they've taken us out many times, I felt a little bad.
No.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
No. But Pouncey came up to him and he started apologizing to Pouncey. He's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I feel more bad for you than I do me. And he said to Pouncey, he said, you're the only reason I wanted to do this, man.
Yeah, I heard
So,
that.
so Pouncey retiring, does that mean, does Ben go with him or does Ben stick around? Because there's like $41 million with his name on it next year.
Yeah, I mean that's a decision that I think that the Steelers are going to have to really look at, and that's a decision that I think Ben's going to have to make because I'm not sure Ben Roethlisberger can play 17 weeks in the NFL anymore. He's not the best. You know, he's a bigger guy. He's not in shape. He
His offseason plan is bud heavy and porn.
Yeah, right. And you can't blame him at this point in his career,
Yeah,
but
go
they have
ahead.
no running game. They have no running game there. The offensive line isn't good as far as run blocking, so that they can't run. Obviously, it's a young defense, but it's just the same as Rivers, man. It's just nothing beats father time, and I think it's gotten Ben to where I think he's going to be. I think he needs to hang it up. I think he needs to hang it up. The one thing that I will say worries me, man, and I've been saying this, and I've been trying to warn you guys, is if this problem with Deshaun Watson in Tennessee is for real, I really hope and pray to God that he doesn't land in Pittsburgh, because I could see Pittsburgh going all out for Deshaun Watson. But the team that I think lands Deshaun Watson is going to be the Saints. Breeze, we already know
Oh,
Breeze is
God.
done. Um, I just hope it's not Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh would be second on my list for Deshaun Watson.
But I got a buddy, Andrew Kern. He's a Pittsburgh fan. If he hears this, shout out to him. We were texting back and forth yesterday, though, and he said, okay, so we're going to send T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, and first to Pittsburgh or to Houston for Deshaun Watson. I'm like, well, what does Pittsburgh have to offer, really? Because Minka and TJ can both be unrestricted free agents after this coming season, after 2021. Do you trade for two guys like that could just leave for nothing after a year and you give up your franchise quarterback? I think if Deshaun goes somewhere, it's going to have to be to a team that just gives up like an offer like we've never thought of in our life. I think it's going to be some grand Godfather offer that just blows everybody's mind before Houston even thinks about moving off of him, right?
Yeah, but I think a good team knows it's going to be a haul, and I think a good team would definitely be willing to pay for a top 5 quarterback. I mean, it's not every day, or it's not every year, every day, every season that you can trade for a quarterback the same caliber as a Deshaun Watson. So if your name could even be in the hat, like we keep hearing I don't know if you're hearing it. I think you have, but the rumblings that Deshaun Watson wants to go to Miami for Tua and picks, and if Miami doesn't pull that, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you give up Tua and 3 first-round picks if you can, if that's all it takes. And I say all because I think that's a small margin of what Deshaun Watson's worth. Is if you can give up Tua and 2 or 3 first-round picks, I'm doing it, man, because you're talking about instant fucking contenders. You get Deshaun Watson.
Instant, because I think that we saw Tua have to come out when the game was getting, like we got to throw downfield to win it. So that's crazy. But let's not put any Deshaun Watson to Pittsburgh talk in the air. I want Ben to come back next year because I just want to put a few more retirement licks on him to send him on his way. But if he were to retire right now, good fucking riddance, my guy. I hope I never see you again.
If something happens, the best thing you can do is he can't play all games, so it takes him that's why they win 11-0. They Ben's don't start feeling it until later in the season. So this is going to happen. So you almost want to treat him on a fucking game management type thing, like just because of how old he is and the bigger dude he is. It won't work anymore, him playing 17 games and then going to the postseason. They won't win it anymore.
It just doesn't seem like he has the gas in the tank. And the Browns need to thank the Bengals a little bit, because I think we kind of gave you a little bit of a blueprint against them. All right. You play that short shit, punch them in the face. But I mean, you guys just have a competent offense and we didn't.
I was just thinking about this. Isn't it crazy that Pittsburgh saved our season week 17? So Pittsburgh saves our season week 17. They beat the Colts, right?
Yeah.
We end up beating them. They sit their starters. So week 16 they beat the Colts. Week 17 they sit their starters. We go into the playoffs because apparently they wanted to play us. I mean, it seems like, you were sitting your starters, then you want to see us. And then we just not blow their doors off. What a way to end their season as a Browns fan that suffered from just losing to those guys all the time.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is like, oh well, you only beat our B team. You only beat our B team. Like, well, you should have left the B team in, motherfucker, because varsity got dragged.
You should have left the B team in. Punked. B team only lost by 2 in a close game. So this was done in the first quarter.
And like it was like Ohio, like the Ohio team just like shook hands again for a night, right? Like we did it twice this year.
Yeah,
you guys really wanted us to beat them, and now we were like on the same side again Sunday night.
I think because with the Bengals being out, and I think that now with Ohio State being out, I think that Bengals fans are kind of latching onto the Browns here, as in like, oh wait, we felt your pain, and there was a part of me, the hater in me, where when you guys were in the playoffs for those 4 years, I didn't want you guys to win that playoff game because then you jumped us, because we still had this drought of not being in the playoffs, and we had this drought of not winning a playoff game. So, but once that's over with, and it's like, okay, well, they're good. They've already, they've got in the playoffs. They won a playoff game. Now it's like, okay, now they're Ohio. They've been where we're at, where they've been at the bottom so long that we want to see them do good, because there's been nothing but love from Bengals fans, and I'm showing nothing but love back, because
how far we've come in a couple.
Greatest thing, it's crazy, and the greatest thing is the Von Bell hit. I keep going back to the Von Bell hit on Juju. I think Juju being on the Steelers makes it that much worse to bring Ohio together, to where it's like, fuck Juju,
fuck that guy.
Everybody go ahead and make a point out of him, and and both teams were able to do that at the end of the year, which is cool.
Well, that's another thing. I didn't even think about that. Juju, a couple days before the game's like, oh, well, they're nameless gray faces. They got a couple good guys, but it's the same old Browns that we play every year. Like, well, how do you
say that before a playoff game, dude? How do you? It's like Dabo doing that to ranking Ohio State 11th right before you play them. Why do you want to give a good team? They're a good team because they're in the playoffs, that kind of ammunition? It don't make no sense.
Especially when you've taken L after L after L after dancing on people's logos and shit. Like, you already have should have been humbled or shut up. Yeah. And then now you're just going to talk shit like that. Like they played one good half of football in the last 5 or 6 weeks. And he's like, well, nameless gray faces are just the same old Browns. Like, well, you found out. Now you're at the house making TikToks and all that shit. Yeah. And they're getting ready for Kansas City.
Now make a TikTok on your couch.
Yeah.
Now he can make a TikTok on his couch, so and then Chase Claypool coming out saying, oh, it's all right, they're going to get clapped. Well, you just got clapped. You're the one that got clapped, and you want to talk why we're still playing. Like, and I tweeted at him. I said, hey, what time do you play this weekend? So.
Oh, wait. That video of him saying the Browns are going to get clapped next week, I thought that was like after week 17. He said that again after the playoff game.
He said that after they lost to us in the playoffs.
Oh, I thought he said that. I thought he said that after you lost to him week 17.
That just came out yesterday.
Oh my God! What a fucking idiot!
I mean,
are you serious?
Yeah, it's like, it's all right. They're gonna get talking about the loss, and he's like, it's okay. Cleveland's gonna get clapped next week. It's like, dude, you just got clapped by Cleveland, and now you want another team to clap Cleveland because you can't. Like, that right there is some cowardless, spineless shit. Like, dude, you're a bitch. You're a coward for that.
Dude, these new age TikTok and Twitch football players, I don't think I like them, dude. I don't think I like them. They don't understand.
You wouldn't have heard that back in. You wouldn't put a target on your back like that back in the day.
No,
that's for sure.
No, because usually when you do it, it turns out bad. I thought he said that after week 17, and the clip just kind of had surfaced or something.
Yeah, no, that came out. That just came out. Hey, so let's jump in here to this week, man. Let's start off with Saturday. Saturday at 4:35, we got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to Lambeau to take on the Green Bay Packers. How do you feel this going on? The Rams have a good defense, dude. The defense is fucking legit.
It's damn good. I don't know, man. Aaron Donald can just dominate a game. We saw some of it this past weekend. We've seen it for years. Aaron Donald can just one-man wrecking crew your entire offense. It's insane. I think he's the best. He's the best defensive player in football. I don't know why I'm even questioning it.
Yeah.
But I still think beat up Goff or John Wolford. I don't know who they're going to start. Probably Goff, I would assume, since he's already played. But I still take Rodgers. I take Rodgers over either one of those guys. Rodgers is quietly playing out of his mind. Like, his numbers are insane, and nobody's really talking about it.
Well, he's MVP for sure. I mean, I think he's unwrapped that up.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
I'm with you. I don't know what to make of this game because the Rams defense is legit. You know, I'm not sure Aaron Jones, I don't think is going to be able to get going. So Aaron Rodgers is going to have to win this with his arm. You know, and you're going to have Jalen Ramsey locked up on Devontae Adams. So that's the matchup, in my opinion. And then, you know, Green Bay's defense isn't very good. And then, but the Rams offense isn't all that, you know, but they're finding something here, running the ball with Cam Akers. You have a lot of weapons, you know, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. You know, is Jared Goff going to be healthy enough to play? I think that's the question. I don't know. I'm going to go with Green Bay, but I'd say that I don't trust any of these NFC teams. I just don't trust any of them.
Yeah.
I say that with not a lot of confidence. But I'll take Green Bay by 6 at home.
Yeah, I'm thinking Green Bay by like 10 personally. I just, as good as the Rams defense is, I just think Aaron Rodgers is better. I think Devontae Adams is better. I think, you know, if they can get Aaron Jones going, I think that would be the difference. I think that's going to be a big point in the game for them to try to make that happen against that defensive front. But yeah, give me the Packers by like 10.
Yeah, Packers home team, go Packers. Let's go to the Saturday night game. I think this is going to be a good one. The Baltimore Ravens are traveling to Buffalo to take on the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills.
I got Buffalo. That Buffalo can make it a game where you have to throw the football to beat them. I think more than a Ryan Tannehill could do because, you know, he's really only got A.J. Brown. Everybody else is kind of missing. I think Beasley will work the slot. Diggs is going to take the top off. I think Josh Allen's going to make it so you have to throw the football to win that game. And because of that, I think Buffalo wins by – I'll give them a touchdown. They win by 7.
I came on here last week, and I said that Buffalo's my new team to win the Super Bowl.
You did.
And then I watched them go up against the Colts, and for 4 quarters – get beat, in my opinion. I mean, they won the game. You know, they had the best player. They had Josh Allen. Something tells me Baltimore wins this game.
Really?
So the Bills cannot run the ball. Baltimore's defense is legit. They have corners, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, fucking Jimmy Smith. They got corners everywhere. But with that being said, I'm going with the best player on the field, and that best player is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I think this is a close game. I think Lamar has a good day. Buffalo's not great against the run. Buffalo can't run the ball, so they're going to be one-dimensional. These two teams haven't played, if any at all, maybe once that I can remember. This is a very interesting game. This is weird to say, so I think Baltimore's going to win. But I'm going to predict the Bills to win because that's who I took to win it all. And I think Josh Allen has to ball out. If Josh Allen don't, then the Ravens are scary right now. They're getting over that hump. They just got over their first playoff game. They're rolling. They're the hottest team in the playoffs right now. So we'll see.
Hotter than the Browns?
Well, the Browns, yeah. We got to think they beat the Browns. The Browns end up losing to the Jets. I think consistently right now they're the best. You're going to have to play a defense type like Tennessee played and then outscore them. So that's also what gives me hope is I'll take Josh Allen over Ryan Tannehill any day, and Ryan Tannehill had a great day. So
that's fair.
Yeah, so we'll see. So what about Sunday night? We have Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to Atlanta, to New Orleans to take on Drew Brees and the Saints.
Yeah, that one is I think it's going to be fun. Like we talked about earlier, the Saints have kind of dominated them a couple times this year,
Yeah.
but playoff Tommy is just a little bit different, man. That's in New Orleans. So you know,
Yeah.
if the Superdome was packed full, I would give them even more of an advantage. But obviously, it's not going to be. But I give me playoff Tom, man. Give me playoff Tom. I can't bet against him. I can't.
Yeah.
I can bet
Yeah,
against Breeze. I can bet against Sean Payton. But
yeah.
betting against playoff Tom, man, it's hard.
Yeah, no, I think I think I'm going with you. I think Tampa gets this done, and I think it sets up Brady versus Rodgers in the NFC Championship. Either way, I
Fun.
mean, even if you get Rodgers and Breeze last year, that's kind of cool too. But I think that Tom's got the offense a little more figured out. Mike Thomas and Drew Brees haven't played with each other much this year.
I think that offense is becoming Tom Brady's offense more than it is Bruce Arians' offense. That's my personal
right. Yeah, and I think that he's found the chemistry with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's starting to look like he's played football the last couple weeks. Godwin looks good. Mike Evans. I mean, you got Gronk. I mean, what's worrisome is the Bucs defense a little bit, and the fact that these Saints have smashed them both times. So this is an interesting game, but it's hard to go against playoff Tom, and you wonder how many more of these he's got left in him. It looks like he could go another 5 years, but I want to see Bucs and Packers. I want to see Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. So I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Bucs by a touchdown.
Yeah, I'll go Bucs from anywhere from 3 to 7 in that range. Maybe a couple field goals, maybe one. I mean, I think it'll be a good game, but Tom might just pull something out of his ass in the end, like he always does.
Yeah.
What we got next?
We got the big one, right? Sunday at 3:00. My Cleveland Browns head up to Kansas City to take on that big red fucking monster.
The red wave, man.
I see. I'm trying to. I trying to avoid it. So it's like, you don't want to bring this up and think you gotta play Kansas City, right now. This game scares me a little bit. I will say. I will say this though, man. I said this last week on Caveman Media, and I might have said it on here. So anything from here is just playing with house money, right? So
yeah, for sure.
So the Browns get into the playoffs, and that right there was pretty much good for me. I'm like, okay, let's make the playoffs and build off of a playoff team. The Browns get in and they win a playoff game. They're within the divisional round. And I tweeted this out, and I'll say it again on here. Nobody predicted the Browns to win 11 games this season. Nobody predicted Coach Stefanski. Nobody predicted Coach Stefanski was going to be, in my opinion, Coach of the Year, and I think he'll solidify that. Nobody predicted Baker to be playing the way Baker's playing right now. Nobody predicted, I think I already said 11 wins. Nobody predicted the playoffs. Nobody predicted to beat Pittsburgh. Everybody's going against you. To beat Pittsburgh and send Pittsburgh home packing after all they've done to you throughout the years. So this team makes you believe. This team makes you believe. And I got laughed at, and I got called out by numerous people. But listen, by numerous people on Twitter. And when I go back, you're going to know exactly what I said. I said the Browns have a recipe.
Oh yeah,
that might be able to give Kansas City some problems.
Stephen A said it too.
You have the best offensive line in football, hands down. The Browns have the best, and they're going to get Joel Petonio back.
What about
They're going to get Conklin back. They're going to have J.C. Treader. They're going to have Wills. They're going to have Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller. They were able to run the ball without Petonio because Teller was there last week. The Browns have the recipe because they can run the football and keep Pat off the field. And now, I was saying all this when Baker wasn't even doing all this. And now you get play action, and you got a defense that isn't as good as the Steelers defense. Now, I do think that the Kansas City Chiefs defense is underrated. they're, as far as statistics go, that they don't look, they're in like the 20s in both run defense, pass defense. But I think they're better than that. They show up big times, and not only that, you have Pat Mahomes on the other side. So if the Browns want to win this game, they've got to jump out early. Now that's a lot fucking.
It's a tall task,
That's
man.
easy. That's easier said than done, because in my opinion, if the Browns win the coin toss, they want the ball. Take the ball. I think you have to take the ball because you cannot let Kansas City score first. I think I don't know if this is going to be a shootout. I don't know if Cleveland's going to try to control the clock. I don't know what Stefanski's his approach is going to be, but I can tell you I trust Stefanski with everything in me.
How can you not?
And like I said, this team has made me believe. Do I think that the Browns are going to beat Kansas City in Kansas City against Pat Mahomes?
Dun dun dun.
I don't think that they win this game. But do I think they can? I do. I do think that the Browns can win this game by doing what I said. And I'm not trying to sound like some fucking, whatever Stefanski wants to do. You have to wonder, the Chiefs sit out their starters week 17 as well. They get a bye the first round. Is there any rust? Is there any way maybe they come out a little tad bit rusty and you can make them punt the ball once or twice, and you can early like you did with Pittsburgh.
Maybe a snap goes 20 yards over his head first play of the game.
That's not happening again. but they've been off for 2 weeks. I have nothing against Kansas City. I think Kansas City's great. I think they've found probably the greatest quarterback of all time, but we have to know that's who we're going against. What do you have for not Sammy Watkins, but for Tyreek Hill? Well, the great thing is you're getting Denzel Ward and Kevin Johnson back. So Robert Jackson, number 34 on the Browns, don't have to see the field anymore.
Denzel Ward coming back would be massively helpful.
He should be back. You also have Myles Garrett getting after Pat Mahomes. We're going to see. I do think that this is a game. I don't think this turns into a blowout because as much as I respect the Chiefs defense and think that they are underrated, Browns can score on them. I think they can score multiple times on them. And obviously I think Pat Mahomes can light our defense up because that is our weak spot is the defense. We'll see how that goes, so I think the Chiefs, I'm going to have the Chiefs winning this one, by a touchdown right now. But I'm confident Cleveland can make this a game and stick around until the fourth quarter. And from that point, anything can happen. They win this game. Holy fuck. Holy shit.
They win this game. Then,
holy shit.
You need to get on like heart medicine if they win this game.
Man. Yeah, this could go get
my
crazy.
Prediction on that. I'm with you. I think the Browns can make it a game. I think that they can run the ball, control the clock to an extent. But the problem with it is, even if the Browns got up 28-0 in the first quarter again, I know you didn't feel comfortable Sunday night. You might have felt good.
No.
But you didn't feel comfortable.
No.
But with Pat
look
Mahomes
what happened and
look
what happened and look what happened in Dallas and look what happened in Tennessee. No lead is safe, especially with fucking Pat Mahomes on the other side,
That's the biggest problem for me is like literally, I mean, not literally, but pretty much virtually no lead is safe when 15's on the other side of the field.
Yeah. Scary dude.
And I do think that Pittsburgh's defense is better than Kansas City's. But yeah. I don't think the Browns are going to get gifted with 5 turnovers either. That made a huge difference in that game. So look, man, Browns fans, I haven't given you guys shit all year. Now, if you're consistently good going down the stretch, I'll probably start fucking with you guys because then I'll be like kind of like a rivalry thing. Lately, it's just kind of been like, hey, we both suck, but fuck Pittsburgh, right? And you and Austin and everybody I know that's a true Browns fan. I'm glad you got that playoff berth. I'm glad you got that playoff win. I'm glad you beat the shit out of Ben. It's been a great ride, but I'm sorry, man. I got to go Chiefs by like 10. I just
no,
I don't see it. I don't see it. I wouldn't be mad if I wouldn't be mad if they did, but
I don't think anyone sees this. I don't think anyone would see this coming. But no, this is where I went back to where I started this. No one's seen us beating Pittsburgh. No one. Now, people thought it was possible. I think people think this is impossible. And I get it. And this is at the beginning of the year, I said there's a 99.9% chance that these people run it back, or this team runs it back. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But even if the Browns go out like this, even if you get taken out by the champs, now you know the where you stand, where you need to be, you got to go fix the defense. They've already done more than I imagined. I just wanted to get in the playoffs. I didn't care if it was the division. I just know I wanted to end that 18-year drought. And they go in and they win a playoff game. So, the Browns can get better. They can get better at defense. They got the coach, they got the quarterback. So now you're just adding the pieces.
Well, and not only that, what it does for the Browns going forward is you have a fairly young team, but you got guys like Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, these guys that now know what it is like to win in the postseason, right? Because forever it's been Cleveland, the factory of sadness. They don't know how to win. They can't get out of their own way. Cleveland doesn't know how to handle success. They've had good starts and they kind of blew it going toward, the second half of the year, all that shit. Now you got guys in there that know what it's like to win in the postseason. They know they can win in the postseason and you can build from it. So to say that, the Browns going out and losing to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes is, like this huge, like indictment on the franchise is not, because they were 1-15, 0-16 3 years ago.
Absolutely. The story that I find, and there's always a story going in, like for Pittsburgh, to me, it was, should the Steelers have sat the starters, will they come out rusty, or they haven't had a bye since week 3. Could they have used that as a bye, so it ended up being, they looked rusty. They couldn't get nothing going in the first quarter. That is not the same with the Chiefs. I guess the story coming in about the Chiefs would be, they haven't beat anybody by a lot. A lot of these wins are by one possessions. Now they do got 14 or 15 wins, but were they bored? That's not the question. A win's a win in the NFL. That doesn't matter. My biggest question is, were they bored? Were they the Golden State Warriors, where it's like, all right, let's get to the postseason, turn it on, and let's beat this team by fucking 20, 30 points, because that wouldn't surprise me either. It's the fucking Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes. Right. So that is the story that, and then the story on the Cleveland side is, do they really think that they can win this game? How good is Stefanski? Is he already this good? Or, is it going to be a Baker, Oklahoma, and fucking Pat Mahomes, Texas A&M shootout? Like, what are we going to get? The game's interesting. The AFC is just, it's loaded, so we're going to see, I know one thing, Cleveland will be at Kansas City playing in a divisional round playoff game on Sunday, so this is, like I said, it's already more than I could ask for. And all you can do is get out there and play it. Anything is possible at this point.
Any given Sunday, man.
This isn't the NBA. This isn't a 7-game series where you got to go beat LeBron James 4 out of 7 times.
Right.
You got to knock these guys off one time. That's all you got to do. You got to win one game. It's like Coach Stefanski says every week, 1-0. Every week's 1-0. So, it's win or go home. They know that. The Chiefs know that. Everyone's left in it knows that. So, we're going to see. We're going to see exactly where the Browns stand.
Absolutely. So it'll be a great weekend in NFL football again. Really, NBA is kind of the NBA right now. Like, they're playing regular season games, whatever. But what the fuck is Kyrie Irving doing, dude? What the fuck is happening with that guy?
All of a sudden, he's not showing up to games and he's out partying with Drake and shit in Canada. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
You're supposed to be playing on a basketball team.
If I'm the Nets, I'm trying everything I can right now to convince Houston that Kyrie Irving will show up there for him. And I'm trying to get James Harden for Kyrie Irving. Because this is just wild.
It's just like the whole story is, though, like, Steve Nash is the head coach and he's like, yeah, I don't know where he is. I don't know why he's not here. Like, the Nets have no idea where this guy is,
where he's at,
why he's not there. He's not answering the phone.
It's crazy.
Is he already mad that Kevin Durant's better than him?
I don't know. They said he hasn't showed up since they both lost those 2 game winners,
Yeah.
and he just said he did. Why aren't you playing, Kyrie? Because I don't want to. Like, holy shit!
What?
The dude's lost his marbles. I guess he don't realize he's making millions to play a game. See, and those are the people that's just like, fucking send his ass home. I mean, he's obviously way too good for that,
but the thing, like,
crazy.
If I'm Houston, do I want the guy that thinks the Earth is flat and is going to get pissed off if fucking John Wall dribbles too much for James Harden? No.
And I see that, but at the same time, James Harden wants out too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he plays. They know where he is physically, like literally where
I don't
is
know
he?
I don't know what to think of this dude. I mean, I'm ready to see more news on it to see what the fuck's been going on, because this right here it's funny, it's fucking interesting. It's like, what, like, is the dude dead? But then he's with Drake. It's like, holy shit,
he's posting on really Instagram and shit. Like, he's like posting pictures of his dad and shit. Like it was his birthday or something. So like he's present. It's just, I imagine if an NFL player like Nick Chubb, Chubb just doesn't show up to a game, doesn't come to practice, doesn't answer the phone when Stefanski calls him, doesn't answer the phone when Andrew Barry calls him, and he still gets paid though. The NBA players have entirely too much control because I think he's still getting paid because they're all fully guaranteed contracts. In the NFL, it's like, well, we need your signing bonus back, your cut. We're fining you for all this shit.
Hell yeah, and there needs to be something like that in the
for
NBA.
Sure. Just, you can't just say I don't want to.
Right, you do want players to feel, like they have some say and stuff, but not like that. Not like that.
I don't feel like doing my job.
Imagine if me or you called our work and said, "Hey, I don't feel like coming in. Well, hey, I'm not coming today. Why? Because I don't want to." Well, you're fired.
It's even different. That's like you or me not calling our boss, and then our boss getting in touch with somebody that knows us and be like, "Hey, why didn't Drew work?" And be like, "Oh, he said he didn't want to."
Yeah.
Well, my paycheck's not hitting next week.
Yeah. Well, I guess I didn't make any fucking money. I can't pay my rent. It's crazy. It's crazy. These guys, some of these guys are just selfish. It's sad. It's sad to see it do like that because, like I said, any other job you'd be fired. Hey, I want to keep it on I want to go back to the NFL real quick because I wanted to talk about this with you. There's several head coaching vacancies in the NFL available right now. We got the New York Jets, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans, the LA Chargers, the Detroit Lions, the Atlanta Falcons, and now after Peterson was fired, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Where's the best? If you're a head coach and you have your choice, which one of those where do you want to go?
See, that's tough. That's tough for me just because, like, Detroit doesn't give me a ton to believe in. Philly doesn't give me a ton to believe in. The best job is the Chargers, I think, is the best job. You got Justin Herbert, who looked phenomenal. You've got Bosa on defense. You got Derwin James on defense. You got, Hayward. I mean, they got pieces everywhere on defense. You've got Herbert. You've got Keenan Allen. You've got
Austin Eckler, Mike Williams,
Hunter Henry, Mike Williams. So, yeah, you got all this stuff to build on. I think that's the best job personally.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I think if you tell me I can go one place, I mean, I'm going there. I'm going to the Chargers. I think that Justin Herbert's the reason why when you're looking at, all these quarterbacks, because, you would say, Texans are interesting, but are they even going to be able to keep Deshaun Watson? You're looking at Jacksonville with multiple picks in the first couple rounds. I think 2 in the first, 2 in the second, but you have a terrible owner there. But it sounds like Urban Meyer is getting the coaches together, and there's going to be enough money there for him to come out of retirement again and go coach down in Jacksonville. You get Trevor Lawrence and that running back, that James Robinson. That's and you got DJ Chark there. So that is an interesting spot. That's a close second. The only thing that shies me away from that is the owner.
Yeah, Shad Khan.
Is terrible there and won't say and everything. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works with Urban. But yeah, I think that I'm with you. I think that the Chargers is the best spot.
Urban Meyer, man.
You're ready to go. You're ready to go there. And by the way, I just seen on Twitter, it sounds like Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. It looks like he's going to end up in New York with the Jets. So that's interesting. I'm not big on hiring. Let me say I love this guy. First of all, I think he's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's great. Has great defense. Um, I think he can get a locker room together. I think he can change a culture. I like that part. But what I hate about getting defensive coordinators as head coaches is now you got to hire an OC, an offensive coordinator, to do everything. And what happens if that guy does such a great job? Now he's gone for a head coach.
Right.
So this is why I typically like to hire the offensive on the offensive side of the ball for the head coaching positions.
That makes sense. Yeah. I never really thought
Because
about
now
that,
you lose your
actually.
play. You lose your play caller. You lose your all offense, and now you could bring some. If he gets a head coaching job, you bring in somebody else who just isn't as good with the players. I mean, to me, it just throws a wrench into everything. And people could say, well, that could be the same for the defense. I think defense is a little bit more not as complex. You
It's
know what I'm
it's
saying? So
it's easier to fix defense. You have schemes in defense, but offense, you have like a rhythm, like the players know
yeah,
the rhythm of the play calls. Like, okay, I bet he's about to set up a draw here or something like
yeah,
that. So it's different. And then if that head coach stays, he keeps his offensive system. He may hire his assistants around guys that can work with that.
yeah,
But that is true. That's actually something I've never really thought about. You have a defensive
yeah.
guy, but then yeah, your OC blows it up, he leaves, and now do you change systems? Do you promote a
Yeah, like
guy
what do
from
you do?
within? Or yeah,
And
that's a good point.
and we know the best relationship on the field is the head coach and the quarterback.
Always.
So and then when you hire a defense, that head coach isn't really he's involved, but he's not as involved with the offensive coordinator or the play caller. With the quarterback. So now it changes everything for your quarterback, the most important position, and so yeah, that's why I don't personally I don't like hiring there. I see. I like the Raiders did. They got Gus. The old fucking Jaguars. What's his
Gus
name?
Bradley.
Gus Bradley. Brought Raiders brought him in as the D coordinator. I love that. Um, Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn just went somewhere. I think the Cowboys or something
Yeah.
like so. And I think those are great hires. But when I'm looking for the head coach, I'm looking for the offensive side of the ball, which brings me to my next question. There's several head coaches out there. Who's the best? If you're a team, if you're the Bengals and they say Zach Taylor's gone and you have your pick of the litter, who do you want? Who would you want to come coach the Bengals?
I think it's close, but number one, I'm going to go Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just because my close second is Brian Daboll from Buffalo, but I'm going to give
Yeah.
the edge to Bieniemy just because he's been under Andy Reid for so long. We're kind
Mm-hmm.
of just now seeing the explosion of Josh Allen from Daboll. I know he hasn't been there all that long, but
Yeah.
I'm going to give Eric Bieniemy the edge just because he has been under Andy Reid's wing for so long, and I think Eric Bieniemy is a good fit in Philly with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would think that Philly could get a guy like that just being a big what is it a big market. I'm reverse here. So I think Brian Daboll is the number one person, head coach available. I mean, if I'm the Chargers, that's who I'm calling, and that's who I'm hiring. Brian Daboll. I think Eric Bieniemy is a close second, like 1A, 1B type shit.
Yeah.
And I maybe he ends up somewhere where Watson's at, or or if I don't know. I don't know. I was going to say Baltimore, but with Baltimore winning a playoff game, John Harbaugh being out is no longer an option. So that's going to be interesting. But I got Brian Daboll 1 and Eric Bieniemy 2.
Well, it was easy to think like, okay, Bieniemy goes to Houston with Deshaun Watson. That was an easy thing to put together. But then, now Deshaun's pissed because they didn't hire the GM with talking to him or anything like that. So that one seems like it may be the worst job available because Deshaun Watson might be on his way out. So that'll be interesting to see too. But yeah, I think we're close. I think I give Bieniemy a slight edge just because of experience. But I can understand. But like thinking of a Daboll with Justin Herbert, it's like, can he do half of what he did with Josh Allen with Justin Herbert, who already looks damn good?
Yeah, because Josh Allen was raw. It was
Yeah.
pure arm, and now he's got Brian Daboll's really. I mean, to me, he's responsible for what Josh Allen is right now. Obviously, Josh Allen's responsible for himself too, but I think that Brian Daboll
Big part.
is huge part of that. And I think him with Herbert, holy hell, that could be scary. Because, dude, the Chargers are ready to go. They just need the right coach, a couple pieces. They are ready to go.
They really are. I mean, they're
Mm-hmm.
that, and like this said, the defense is gonna stay good. They lost a lot of one possession games that, and that's probably why Anthony Lynn no longer has a job.
Hey, man. So while I'm on here, show him your shirt. This is going to be on.
I was going to bring that up, man. I'm pressing these bitches up right upstairs in my house. Let me get a little closer.
Get closer.
Going.
Yeah.
Turn the light down here a little bit. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies. I'm right upstairs, handmade, right here in the USA. Dropped off a hoodie to Matt Gustin last week. Making one for Logan Stork here. Jake, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Whitting, you guys had your Twitter argument, but he won one a few weeks ago, and I never sent it to him. I got to fix that.
Right. What up, Jake?
We did something on here. I said, hey, you'll win a free shirt, and he did it. And then I never ordered it from the other place because I knew the equipment was coming, because the equipment was a gift for my girlfriend, but I'm using it too. It was for both of us.
It's kind of like a gift to yourself and to her.
Yeah, but I mean, it had her
smart.
Name
That's
on it.
Smart.
Yeah,
That's
it was like
smart.
I spent like $1,000, so I'm gonna get something out of it. So. Yeah, man. Anything you want, press up. I'll get it to you with a couple of days. I just ordered a whole bunch of the vinyl shit to print on it. So anybody that wants one, get them to me. We're doing them cheap. We're not paying our rent off you guys like we've said before. So I think that's probably about all we got for you this week. Hey, man.
Hopefully next week we're back over there. If anyone's wondering, I just have mild symptoms. Fucking like right here, and you guys can see right here burns when I like take a deep breath. It's kind of weird. Kind of get a little bit of fatigue today is the difference. But other than that, I just can't taste or smell shit. So like I was telling on Facebook, man, I might as well go on like a fucking diet, because everything tastes the same. It's just there's no taste. Kind of shitty.
I'll give you $50 to do a shot of mustard.
But I'm fine. I don't know, man. I've thought about it because I've never tried mustard, but I hate mustard.
I hate it too.
You know how it is. So, and I said if I was going to ever eat it, now's the time, because I can't smell it, I can't taste it. So
you'd still know.
Though
you'd still know.
So like when you have it, it's like the texture. So it's like the one thing that I've been able to taste a little bit is peanuts. I don't know if it's because it's got such a strong taste. I don't know what it is, but I've been able to taste that a little bit. But other than that, it's just the texture. So like if you're eating eggs, it's like, okay, I know this is eggs because of the texture, but I can't taste the eggs, or we had sausage, so I was eating eggs and sausage. It all tastes the same. But other than that, we're fine, so the wife and I have the same symptoms, but we're doing good, a little bit of fatigue, a little bit of like a head cold, and then just the loss of taste and smell. But other than that, we're good. The kids are, dude, this virus is crazy, man, because we think that my son brought it in from wrestling.
Right.
He had a quarantine because there was a wrestler who tested positive, but dude, he ain't showed not one symptom. The little 2-year-old ain't showing any symptoms. She got like a little runny nose, but it's crazy that the way it attacks, the adults and not the children. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but 2 of my brothers had it, and they both said that they felt terrible for days on end. So, I think it hits different people differently. But hopefully you guys continue to only have the mild symptoms. You don't have the laid up in bed for days on end like some people I know had it. So hopefully you guys get through that quickly, and we're able to get back to normal and in here in the locker room. And maybe get together for the conference championship if the Browns are playing. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But like we've always said,
Browns, shock the world. Browns, do it again. Let's keep shocking them.
So, and I don't have anything to say about the Bengals other than spend $100 million on your offensive line if you're going to draft a receiver, please. That's like that'll be my little Bengals thing today. We don't need to talk about them. They're not doing shit. Frank Pollock coming back, I like that though. I will say that.
I like it. I like it.
So I think that's about all we got for you guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the COVID edition, virtual
COVID edition
episode. make sure to tune in. We're trying to get a little more active on the social media. I'm trying to make some like shit making fun of teams and shit and put it on the internet. I think, maybe that can get our follower count up a little bit and get some more listeners in here. Playoff bracket challenge is still going on. There's a 3-way tie for first right now. I am one of the 3. So keep an eye on that as things progress. And then we will be back in here next week to review everything else. Locker Room Talk Uncut. Drew Garrison, Chad Penrod signing off. Fuck Pittsburgh.